Coming up next, high school football on your sports leader in Lorain, WLCS TV 20.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to George Daniel Field. Tonight we are going to begin our senior festivities. So, again, grab your seats as we are going to honor the seniors for the class of 2017. First, representing the football team, senior Quentin Pardon, being escorted by Father Eric Pardon, Mother Pamela Pardon, Sister Alana Pardon, Maddie Paschel, grandmother, and Stephanie Paschel, her aunt. Next for the football team, James Corbin, being escorted by Jerry Mayberry, the mother, Tanisha Mayberry, the sister, Janice Mayberry, grandmother, stepfather Fred Daly, and girlfriend Janisa McCall. Next we have for the football team, Aaron Huff, being escorted by Father Greg Huff and Mother Alicia Redden. Next for the Titan football team, we have senior Brandon Sturgill, being escorted by Father Stephen Sturgill, Mother Nicole Sturgill, Sister Anna Sturgill, and Brother Justin Sturgill. Next up, we have Robert Mahaffey, being escorted by Mother Lisa Montanez and Brother Danny Davila. Next up for the football team, Naz Bohannon, being escorted by Maurice Little, the grandfather, grandmother Eileen Hawthorne, Norman Bohannon, the father, Maggie Hawthorne, great-grandmother, and Zamaria Bohannon, the sister. Next up for the Titans, Dejon Brooks, being escorted by Mother Nana Smith. Representing the class of 2017 for the Titans, Carlos Chavez, being escorted by Mother Kiba Chavez, Father Carlos Chavez Sr., Savon Chavez, the brother, Coach Dave McFarland, nephew Andre Campbell, and Jada Chavez, the sister. The next senior for the Titans football program is Sly Worthy. Sly is being escorted by Mother Julia Taylor and Father Sly Worthy Sr. And finally, for the Titans football team, we have senior Solomon Villarreal, being escorted by Mother Tina, Father Brandon, Sister Lisa, grandparents Cookie and Joe, and Uncle Vince. Next, we have representing the cross-country team, Norray Clark, being escorted by Mother Wilma Melendez, grandmother Nora Melendez, and grandfather William Melendez. Next, we have the Lorain High girls soccer team, senior Autumn Sexton, being escorted by parents Amy and Donald Sexton. Representing the girls soccer team, Francis Perez, being escorted by Coach Demakia. Also representing the girls soccer team, Ariana Nieves, being escorted by Adrian Nieves, the mother, and Matthew Roselle, the stepfather. Representing the Lorain High Girls Soccer Team, Faith McLear. Escorted by Storm Ferguson and Charlie Zaroba. Representing the seniors for the boys soccer team, Thomas Williams. Being escorted by Mother Grace Williams and Father Leonard Williams. For the Titans soccer team, Emilio Arenas. Being escorted by Mother Kathy Arenas, Marco and Kelly Glass, and Faith Laurenti, the niece. Next up, we have Angel Rodriguez. Being escorted by Maribel and Daniel Rodriguez, the parents. Daniel and Juan Rodriguez, brothers. And Angelica Maquet, the girlfriend. Now representing volleyball and the athletic training program, we have Lindsay Williams. Being escorted by parents, Tim and Dina Williams. Representing the volleyball program for the Senior Titans, Paige Murphy. Being escorted by Kim and Marvin Murphy, the parents, and grandmother Sue Kovacs. Next up, representing the volleyball program and the athletic training program, Alexis Wells. Being escorted by Mother Daisy Garcia. Now for the Senior Titan cheerleaders. We have Elise Payne, being escorted by Angela Jackson, her mother, and Chance Jackson, her brother. Sierra Ferrario, being escorted by Nicole and Jesse Faria, who are parents, Yasmin Faria, the sister, and Joe Kovacs, the grandfather. Representing the Titans cheerleaders, Angela Bond, being escorted by Yolanda and Randy Bond, her parents, and Rashawn Bond, the brother. Representing cheerleading and cross country, Destiny Johnson, being escorted by Shantae McShepard, the mother, and Reggie Johnson, the brother. And finally, representing the cheerleaders, Veronica Arizaria, being escorted by Yolanda Arizari, the mother. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hager will introduce the senior band members.
Ladies and gentlemen, starting out in alphabetical order, the class of 2017 Lorain High School Titans Marching Band seniors. Shawnice Bellamy is escorted by her mother, Kizzy Bellamy, and her brother, Sean Bellamy Jr. Sebastian Brown is escorted by his mother, Bianca Brown. Sebastian Brown is escorted by his mother, Bianca Brown. Brianna Dye is escorted by her mother, Krista Wallace, her father, Greg Dye, and her friend, Angelina Flores. Catherine Gamble is escorted by her mother, Stephanie Gamble. Jem Garcia is escorted by her mother, Janet Garcia. Ariana Horton is escorted by her mother, Brandy Siska, her father, Terry Ammons, and her grandma, Colleen Siska. Jeremiah Jackson is escorted by his mother, Fontella Jackson, and his father, Ronald Jackson. Kevin Jordan is escorted by his parents, Natalie and Jason Jordan. Mayra Codman is escorted by her parents, Nicole and Jeff Codman. Melissa Lozada Stanislavski is escorted by her mother, Sylvia Stanislavski. Sam Lucky IV is escorted by his mother, Vicki Johnson, and his father, Sam Lucky III. Imari Maldonado is escorted by Jaslyn Alvarado, her friend. Victoria Mata is escorted by her mother, Stephanie Mata. Joshua Minnick is escorted by his mother, Christy Minnick, his aunt, Deborah Amador, and his close friend, Tijana Whitfield. Heaven Nixon is escorted by her father, Wesley Nixon, her brother, Halston Nixon, and her sister, Melina Nixon. Mahela Papista is escorted by her close family friend, Matthew Killian, and her best friend, Gloria Gonzalez. Nora Pappas is escorted by her parents, Mark and Jennifer Pappas. David Ramirez is escorted by his mother, Lydia Ramirez, and his aunt, Tina Ferreira. Skylar Sapienza is escorted by her parents, Amanda and Sean McLinn, and her brother, Brenton McLinn. Emily Shelton is escorted by her parents, Thomas and Brenda Shelton, her sister, Sarah Davis, and her brother, Brandon Shelton. Jasmine Thompson is escorted by her parents, Christina and Richard Thompson III. Carla Torres is escorted by Kenia Ramos, her mother. And Brittany Vroman is escorted by her father, David Gonzalez. And that's our class of 2017 Lorain High School Marching Band Seniors.
Inspiring city and campus. Inspiring people. Inspiring creativity. Inspiring hands-on learning. Inspiring global experiences. Inspiring traditions. Be a Buckeye. Inspire.
Why do you let car dealers treat you like you're stupid? Just because you've had credit problems doesn't mean you're stupid. CreditMax Auto treats you with dignity and respect. We have a great selection of cars with fast, easy financing and payments you can afford. Check us out at creditmaxauto.com.
Good evening and welcome to George Daniel Field. Fall is in the air and it's week 9 in high school football. Lorain High hosting the Bedford Bearcats in a big game for a lot of reasons. Number one, Lake Erie League supremacy on the line. Bedford comes in 7-1, Lorain 6-2. Lorain undefeated in the conference. Bedford's only loss was to Cleveland Heights, who is also undefeated. And Lorain will see them next week. Jay Ferguson along with Rick Amador, and it's the classic football Friday night, Rick.
You know, Jay, when I was coming into tonight with the rain pouring down and just the ominous clouds all day, it just set up for a perfect night here at George Daniel Field. The stadium is electric, all the pregame festivities, the boys are fired up, Bedford's fired up. It's going to be exciting tonight here on Oberlin Avenue.
You know, we had senior night festivities for all of the fall sports before the game. Bedford arrived at late. Must have been a little traffic problem on 480. I see their band just pulling in right now as we wait for the Titans to come out of the locker room. But you'll hear a lot tonight about where people stand for the playoffs. Bedford is a Division II school in Region 5. Currently, they are number 4, behind Aurora, Warren Harding, and Chardon. Now, they play the number 6 team in their division next week, Copley, who is 6-2 as Lorain is. So Bedford really controls their own destiny as far as the playoffs. And for Lorain, it doesn't say clinched a playoff, but it does say controls own destiny. Lorain is 5th in Division I, Region 2, behind Olentangy, Liberty, Dublin, Jerome, Medina, Findlay, and then Lorain. However, Lorain is closer to second place or to third place than they are to 8th place. They're on the way up, and with a win tonight and a win next week, Lorain is almost assured of a home playoff game, Rick.
And how exciting would that be, Jay? Not only for this Titan program, but for the community to rally around these Titans who are fired up over in their locker room coming out right now.
Here they come. Lorain bursting at the seams. It's the last home game for the seniors, and Bedford has already taken the field. They look like they will receive. Here come let's bring on the Titans. And the Halloween theme is in the house. Some of the Titans sporting the masks as they run through the band and the Pee Wee football players. But now it's business time. Let's hope that they can transition to serious business. This is a quality football team that is here tonight in the Bedford Bearcats.
Now, one thing before the game, Jay, I had a chance to visit with Coach Sean Williams for the Bedford Bearcats. You know, he came in here very confident. His team comes in healthy, and they're on an offensive roll. Look out for their offense, their prowess passing attack, led by their quarterback, senior Chris Cleveland, who has over 2,000 yards in the air.
And it's a windy night. You know, winds 25 miles an hour, and the field is in perfect condition, even though we had rain all day. It's very short but very firm, as it has been all year. Kudos to Howard Senich and the grounds crew.
They do a great job on this field year in and year out, and it's just amazing.
Now it appears that Lorain will kick from the north end of the field. That would be number 29, Justin Sturgill. The quarterback is also the place kicker. He will kick off. Deep for Bedford, number 3, D'Angelo Howard. And let's see, number 4, Davion Johnson, number 10, Trent Cloud. Now they are lined up at about the 20-yard line. Deep kickoffs have not been a Lorain forte. Last week we had several onside type kicks, so Bedford with 7 guys within 10 yards of the ball. The official gives the signal and we're ready to play football. Sturgill puts foot into ball, end over end, down to about the 26-yard line. That's Kevin Brewer. Comes to the near side, tiptoes the sidelines, out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So pretty good opening field position for Bedford.
A short kick. Brewer did a good job fielding the ball, was able to pick up some yards, starting off at the 35-yard line. Let's see what this Titan defense brings to the table.
Now last year, Bedford showed us 2 different quarterbacks in a varied offensive attack. There's a little bit of payback here as there was last week at Maple Heights. Bedford really cost the Titans the playoffs last year in Week 9, knocking them out. So it's Arshawn Boone, 12, going to run the jet sweep to Cloud first play. Far side, strung out nicely and tackled behind the line, maybe a loss of a yard.
Looks like Brandon Sturgill and Dower on the tackle.
Dalen Dower.
Dalen Dower.
Yes, the freshman. He's of the big cast on the right arm. He's got a broken arm. Quickly up to the line, 2nd and 11 for Bedford. Straight ahead give, 5 is Gunter. Gunter into the secondary, first down, and at the 46, hit and knocked back, but that was Carlos Chavis on the tackle. But the gain is 12 and a first down. Quick opener there on a short count, and Bedford moving the ball on the ground. Whistle. Travel, okay, false start on Bedford. One of the linemen on the right side, 73, Reginald Moore, got down in his stance and then realized he shouldn't have and got up. And as soon as you put your hand on the ground, you can't move.
They're going to flag that every time.
So we'll take it back 1st and 15 at the 41. Titans defense performed admirably again last week. Gabriel Larsosa is over the ball. There's the give again to Gunter, near side, same play. He's into the secondary. And again, Chavis takes him down, but again, he picks up a good chunk. Let's give him 12 and make it 2nd and 3.
Yeah, nice job on the wide receiver out there, number 3.
Twice with the trap play is what it looked like, too, where they've pulled the backside guard. And there it is again. And there's the hole. They look like they found something. They're inside the 40, Gunter. Falling forward on the tackle is 7, Quentin Pardone, but that'll move the sticks for the Bearcats, and they want to play. They're itching for the referee to put the ball down. They don't want the Titans changing defenses. They found something. Straight ahead give, Gunter again. That's not Gunter, that's near side, and it's Lemuel LaMichael down inside the 30.
Yeah, pickup of 11 yards on that, Jay. They are just beating the Titans to the punch with tempo and pace.
Going to be short of a first down by about a half a yard. Snap and flags fly. There's no way that Bedford could have been set that time.
Yeah, you know.
Our buddy Reginald Moore was about 10 yards downfield. I think he had the count wrong.
You often see these guys imitating the eating sign with their arms, and you can see the whole offensive line. They want to keep running the ball. They found something in this Titan defense that they want to exploit early and often.
Well, it looks like they're kicking the guard out, or they're bringing the guard across to kick the defensive end out, and then picking off the linebacker on that side and opening up a big hole.
Yep.
There's the play again. That time, that was James Corbin, got outside the blocker, penetrated and read, and made the tackle for about let's call it no gain.
That's just a job of Corbin just saying, I've seen this enough, I'm going to make this play now.
2nd and 7. Straight back, throw, slant, picked off. That's Nas. Nas Bohannon returns it out to the 33.
Jay, we talked about it before the broadcast. That Cleveland likes to throw, Bedford likes to throw the ball, but they do turn over the ball with that offense.
Oh, they sure do.
Nas did a great job opening up his hips, dropping back into coverage, read the quarterback's eyes, stepped in front of the slant for a pick, turnover Titans.
So the Titans will go on offense for the first time. At the 34-yard line, Rayshawn Rogers will be over the ball at center. David Larson, Solomon Villarreal are the guards. Slyworthy and Myron Wilson the tackles. Justin Sturgill calls it out. He's got Huff and Chavis to either side. Gives straight ahead Aaron Huff. Huff across the 35, spins off a tackle and falls forward to about the 38. Good first down play.
Oh, yes, give some positive yards there. They're going to also use tempo to their advantage as well. Aaron Huff putting 2 hands on the ball for safety.
So 2nd and about 5, long 5. Sturgill again. It's near side is Cross in the slot. Give this time as Chavis bounces it out. He got bounced as he crossed the 40. Give him the 41, but it looked like he was going to have more, but a good solid hit there by the tackle, on the tackle.
Kenneth Wilkins on that stick. He looked like Carlos Chavis coming up from the secondary. Carlos is used to giving those hits.
Yes.
He was a recipient on that one that time, Jay.
3rd and 3. Sturgill barks it out. Give is straight ahead. Going to be Huff, and he's going to be short. One of the Titans out there wide, number 2, is Davion Dowers signaling first down. He's the wide receiver to the far side. Now they got a favorable spot.
They sure did, Jay.
Oh my goodness.
I thought it was short by at least a yard, but Wilkins came up from that strong safety spot really to get downhill and stop Huff's momentum. And we always talk about Huff going downhill and always falling forward. That time, there was a collision there, Jay.
I think they've got this. I think they're going to have it by about a half a football if the lines are straight.
Jay, if they got this, we have to go to the Jack Casino after this because you're right on.
A full football.
Who's driving?
Let's go. Joe will be back.
Yes.
1st and 10 Titans at the 44.
Jay is hot right now. Who's going to win the series, Jay? That's the big question.
The good guys.
All right.
So Titans initial first down, 8:59 to go in the first quarter, and they wind the clock. Sturgill barks it out. Wants to throw, wants a lot of it. He's got a guy.
Sean.
To the house.
Deshaun Brooks.
Day Brooks to the house. Nice inside move that they bid on. And
let's check that out on replay, Jay.
yes,
Good Lord.
56 yards later, Day puts it down in the house.
He basically ran a post route there, got inside the cornerback. You'll see it here, Jay.
Great ball handling fake.
Put the ball right on the spot, boom.
And Deshaun Brooks on senior night gets the first score for the Titans.
56 yards. Zion is at the...
He's in the slot. Brooks out near side. Same formation. Dower is the receiver up top. Straight ahead, Huff. Huff falls into the end zone for 2.
Actually, that's Carlos Chavis.
Was it Chavis? Yes, it was. So, it didn't look like such a good start, Rick, as Bedford came out and drove the ball about 50 yards before the turnover. Big pick by senior Nas Bohannon, and then we turn it around in a couple of big runs by seniors Aaron Huff and Carlos Chavis, and then Deshaun Brooks, another senior, with the big catch, and 56 yards later, he's on the board.
And you mentioned it on the play, the great ball fake by Justin Sturgill, just to see him evolve with confidence. Going into 2 weeks ago, he wasn't even thought of as a quarterback, just in garbage time. But he's stepping up, and big time players make big time plays.
And if you watch the step into the throw. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but boy, did he stride into that and get it where it needed to go, and he's on the board.
And Coach McFarland taking advantage of that wind with the wind to their back. That might have been a little aid there.
And now Sturgill will put it on the tee and do it again. 8-0 Titans. 8:37 in the first quarter. Justin's gone to the short run up, bounces it along the ground to the 28, picked up there. That's Kevin Brewer, number 2. He's going to cross the field up the hash mark. He's across the 50. He's got a great return, breaks a tackle down inside the 25 before he spun to the turf. Titans just let too much time lapse on that as he was able to pick the ball up off the ground, which is where you want it to be, and cross the field, from left sideline to return right for Bedford, and they're in great position starting at the 26 of Lorain.
What started off as what should have been disastrous for Bedford because he actually missed the ball.
Right.
Worried about the defenders coming downhill and was able to capitalize on that.
3 receivers to the near side now. This is Boone, number 12, the quarterback. Alongside him is Gunter. He's going to throw. There's the bubble screen. Brooks solved it. Brooks has got him by the jersey and rides him to the turf at about the 29. Rick, you said they throw a lot of screens. Well, the Titans were prepared for that one.
They do. You're going to see a lot of bubble screens, a lot of running back screens and delays, and it's something that Antonio Wyatt and Kelvin Torres were talking to me about before the game. They realize that when they feel soft and they're letting it get downhill, it's not because they're great elite ball players. It's because there's something coming behind that.
So 2nd and 13. Torres is over the ball now. Wyatt's the near side and Corbin at the far side. Drops the snap, picks it up, and Corbin was right there. Going to be another loss on the play. Boone had a problem holding on to it. It's cold and it's wet.
Yeah, that was a great individual effort by Corbin to able to get off his block, make a play in the backfield. And he has long arms, that young man. Was able to reach him, grab him by his jersey, and make the play there.
He's another one playing with a cast on, I believe. So it's 3rd and 19. Big play here for the Titans, although you got to believe it might be 2-down territory, 4-down territory.
Watch the delay in the draw.
There's a quick out, kind of a downfield bubble screen is dropped by Davion Johnson. He had a cadre of blockers over there as they went about 5 yards downfield. Since he was behind the line, they were allowed to block, and that's going to bring out the punt team. Yeah. So, from 1st and 10 at the 26 following the kickoff, the Titans defense moves them back to 4th and 19. And Kevin Brewer is out in punt formation.
Titans have to be smart back here.
Nobody deep for Lorain.
Stay in punt safe.
They're definitely that. Snap back. Oh, almost a block from Torres up the middle. Ball's going to land on the track. It landed in lane 4. That's Zion Cross's lane.
It sure is.
And this one's going to be spotted. Looks like it's going to be on the 30-yard line.
Jay, is it me or is this Titan defense starting to become more and more resilient as the season goes on? They gave up the big play there on the kickoff return and then answer with a 3-and-out. And
+4 after the punt that they started on the 26 and the Titans take over on the 30. 8-0 Lorain, 6:54 to go first quarter.
Now after that touchdown pass, Jay, you're going to see the safeties are going to have to respect the throw now. And it's going to open up some lanes for Carlos.
You can see them both back off a little bit. Sturgill barks it out. Defense adjusts. Straight ahead, Chavis follows Huff into the hole. Finishing the run, as we like to say. Looks like he got about 4, 5. Going to be, let's see, it looks like they're going to spot him at the 35. So 2nd and 5 for the Titans. Good run on first down for Carlos.
Nice, tough inside running there by the young man.
Well, and the lead block, Aaron Huff, just likes to hit people. He loves to run into people, and he gets in there and puts a hat on a hat. Huff now, with Chavis leading the way, is going to have about 3. Let's give him the 38. And 3rd and 2 for Lorain. Quickly up over the line. Titans want to play fast now. Straight ahead, trying to bounce it outside is Chavis, and he just got spun down. He never got going forward for one of the few times Carlos Chavis didn't fall forward or move the pile. He's going to get a yard, but it's going to be 4th and 1.
It's a very uncharacteristic run for Carlos. He usually gets north and south, get those shoulders square and load at the line of scrimmage.
Titans going to go quickly, go on 4th down. They picked up 3 last week. This week it's going to be it's going to be Chavis, and he's going to be out to the 42.
Nice.
That was a Carlos Chavis run. So 3 yards for Chavis on 4th and 1, and we'll move the sticks just like they did last week.
And on that run, Jay, Carlos was the lowest man in the pile, was able to just burrow his way through to pick up the first down. Big first down there for the Titans.
It's one of the things I think Antonio Wyatt has learned this year is low pads win.
Oh, yes.
Got Brooks to the near side. Cross is in the slot to the far side. That looks like it's Bohannon. So the big receivers are in. Straight ahead, give Chavis off the near side out to the 45. Ball loose, flag down. Fumble, but a flag down.
Let's see what the flag is, or was he using that as his beanbag?
Right. Chavis put it on the ground on this wet and cold night. What's the flag?
Well, yeah, must have been using that for instead of his beanbag. He grabbed the wrong thing.
He spotted it at the 45, gives the first down indication, ties the turnover. Now they're going to move it back to the 46, ties the turnovers up at 1, and Bedford in business on the Lorain side of the 50 again. 5:09 to go first quarter. Lorain scored on a Bedford turnover. We're not done with turnovers on a night like tonight. With the wind, back to throw. Steps into it over the middle.
Nice.
Like I said.
Chavis.
Carlos Chavis giveth and Carlos Chavis take away.
That's something that Carlos and I were talking about before the game, Jay. When they were going into the wind, read the quarterback's eyes. He doesn't have a lot of zip on the ball. You can make plays, and he stepped up and made a play right there.
And you could tell Arshawn Boone was trying to put something extra on that by the way he stepped into it and really came through it. And Carlos Chavis read it the whole way, cut in front of the receiver.
And that's what you expect from your seniors.
Absolutely.
He made the miscue on the previous possession. Now he's stepping up to the plate, and now his brother's back there.
Yeah, Savion Chavis in the backfield now for Lorain. Number 32, a freshman. Savion Chavis and Aaron Huff are the backs. This is Huff, up, reverse to Cross. Cross cuts it up. Cross has a couple before he's kind of greeted rudely, tossed to the turf. You know what? Zion Cross made a football play there. He made a cut and gained a couple instead of trying to string it out and score.
Carlos is never going to be, thick, for lack of a better word.
Zion,
so
yeah.
Some of these bigger defenders can take advantage of his size. But, hey, what he doesn't have in size, he picks up in speed. So he'll get him back.
Now Bohannon is out to the near side. Cross in the slot. Huff and Chavis in the backfield.
Dower's the wide receiver to the short side of the field.
Savion Chavis out to the 40.
About 3 yards on that one there.
Yeah, that was Savion. He gets 3. Uh-oh, we just lost a bank of lights.
Uh-oh.
We're going to be going, not only are we going with the wind, we're going into the dark. We lost a bank of lights on the south end on the visitor's side. Sturgill rolls. Sturgill wants to throw. He wants a lot for Cross. Cross got crossed up and never had a chance. I think Justin was tossing that one away. Now it's 4th down, and the punt team comes out. Justin Sturgill goes from quarterback to center on the punt.
It's definitely unique. You don't see that very often, but as we mentioned in the open, Justin wasn't kind of an afterthought of being a quarterback,
right,
and has really stepped up. But he does every job that he's given by Coach McFarland. He does the best that he can.
Now, if there's ever a play that's going to be affected by this, it might be fielding a punt coming out of the dark. Slow snap. Huff gets it away. It might have been partially blocked. It bounces on the hop inside the 20. Gets a great roll down to the 15. Touchdown there. And the Titans turn the field around.
This will be the worst starting position for Bedford this whole game so far, in this short game we had so far.
So each team with a turnover. The Titans capitalized on the reception to Deshaun Brooks of 56 yards and lead 8-0 here with 3:36 to go, first quarter.
Actually, Jay, Bedford has 2 turnovers so far.
That's
2 interceptions.
Right. That's right. 2 of them.
Nas Bohannon with 1 and Chavis.
And now you can see the effects of the light, the shadows on the field. The lights on the near side are on. The lights on the far side are not. Now they're going to walk to the sidelines, and I'm going to guess that they're going to either ask the coach, do you want to wait for the lights to come back on? There's 3:36 to go, first quarter. We're going to take a break while they sort out the electrical problems, and we'll be back after this timeout. They wouldn't turn them around, would they? Yeah, they wouldn't turn them around, would they?
Maybe they'd let them move the ball to the near hash.
I mean, they could take them down there and say, hey, you're the home team. It's your fault. You can go with the wind, Bedford. But I don't.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We're back, Joe. Well, whatever the decision was, we're going to put it in play in the dark. Bedford over the ball at the 15. Arshawn Boone, the quarterback. Movement on the Titans inside. Torres and Corbin jumped, and it's going to be a free 5 yards for Bedford. You know, Bedford is always a well-disciplined and coached squad. So you have to be alert for things just like that and the quick tempo on the first series that they, got the Titans with. So 1st and 5 at the 20. That's one way to get out of the dark. Boone, give, hit in the backfield. Going to be a loss. Big Antonio Wyatt was the first man on the play. And when Antonio hits you, most times you stay hit.
Oh, yes.
Going to be a loss at 2, back to the 18.
Antonio, just a great job just beating his man off the ball, crossed his face and made a play there.
Sure did. Read it and, yep, came right across. Because trips to the near side now for Bedford. You've got Brooks and Sturgill out here in coverage. High snap, bobbled on the ground, still on the ground.
Looks like Bedford was able to come up with it, Jay.
No signal yet. Brandon Sturgill points Lorain, and it is Lorain's.
Wow.
I think that's James Corbin on the bottom of the pile.
This young man has come to play on senior night, the senior leading
And it might
the way.
not have been. It might have been 74. Antonio Wyatt seems to be the one getting the congratulations. So the Titans take over in the red zone.
If people
It's also the dark zone.
Yeah, if people in the area don't know about Antonio Wyatt, they need to. He did a great job blowing up his guy at the line of scrimmage. He was at the bottom of the pile, and you just see him burrowing after the ball, and it's like a rugby scrum at that point. And
Yeah.
a third turnover on the night for the Bearcats.
1st and 10 at the 14 for Lorain. Titans need to capitalize on this one. Brooks and Cross to the near side. Dowers the far side. That's Huff. Huff with a great surge, great lead block from Carlos Chavis. And the left side of the line, that's Myron Wilson, Solomon, and David Larson leading the way. Gain is 5, 2nd and 5. 2:25 to go, first quarter. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a slant on this. Missed a handoff, still going to get inside down near the 5.
Wow. What a great athletic play there by Sturgill. He missed Huff on that scissor action, and Carlos, being the heady player he is, that ad-libbing and making that play there, Jay.
Carlos sidestepped into the line, quickly over the ball, 3rd and 1 for Lorain on the 5. Sturgill, Huff to the house. Boy, the left side of the line opened up a hole.
Great job. Larson and Williams, baby.
So Titans capitalize again off the turnover. And Bedford gives it away 3 times. It's cost them 14 thus far. Titans will look for 2 more. Bohannon coming in for Dower. They go to the tall receivers. They like the fade in this situation. There wasn't anybody but a bass drum in front of Aaron Huff with that hole.
Big David Larson did a great job turning his guy inside, opening up the hole for Huff for 6. The big guys don't get enough love, in my opinion.
Bohannon is out all alone on the far side, 1-on-1. Brooks and Cross, but it's straight ahead. That's Sturgill. Sturgill gets stopped short of the goal line on the option. And the run fails, but it's 14 for Lorain, nothing for Bedford in this. I'd hate to call it clash of the Titans, but when 6 and 2 plays 7 and 1, and both teams are in prime playoff position, that's what it is.
No, you can't deny it, Jay. The Titan program is on the rise. Bedford's an established program, even though they're in Division II. They are not. Don't think light of this squad, because every year Coach Sean Williams is putting players in Division I football. They're playing on Saturdays, and they're a very well coached team.
If you remember a couple guys by the name of Lee Evans, and I can't remember the other wide receiver. They both played at Wisconsin, and Lee Evans played forever in the NFL. Chris Chambers was the other guy.
Yeah, Miami.
That's 2 wide receivers on the same team from Bedford that played in the NFL. And they've got a history of producing some big-time football players. 7 guys up within 6 yards of the ball for Bedford. Sturgill, he's pointing to number 2 now. He says, I'm going to kick it to you. I'd like to see him get a little bit more center of the field. Ball blows off the tee.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, Jay. There's a big void in the middle of that kick return.
Oh, my goodness.
If he could just hit a dribbler right down the middle. I need him to be channel as inner Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, up the middle.
Right.
A ground ball to the official at the goal line would be perfect. Now, he's only taken about a 3-step approach. He's not, and he ends it out of bounds. So, option time for Bedford, and it looks like the offense is coming out, and they'll take it at the 35. The 3 choices, the 35, the place where it went out of bounds, which was the 25, and re-kick. But I think Bedford's going to take it.
Now, one quick observation regarding Bedford. Their line isn't as big as we've seen in years past. In years past, they've had some monstrous young men, and this year, that's why they're going to more of a pass-first style
spread
offense.
out, yep.
Well, last year they had Shantez Moss and all those running backs that could do damage on you.
So Arshawn Boone under center now. Had some trouble with the snap a couple times. Gives it to Gunner. Gunner, who had big runs the first few times he carried the ball, gets ahead for a couple. Bohannon was there along with Kelvin Torres. Had some fun with Kelvin this week in school. My wife teasing him about the turf monster.
I forgot about that, Jay. What'd he say?
He just laughed. Gunner again goes wide. Oh, what a play. That is Aaron Huff.
You know what? That's something that you're going to see on a week-in, week-out basis that we've had the chance to enjoy while this young man's played throughout his 4 years. And what a player. Great form tackle. That's how you teach it.
And Naz Bohannon was out there with the contain. They were in good shape, but loss of a couple now, or maybe no gain, and it's 3rd and 8. Minute to go, first quarter. Titans love to stop them here and get one more shot, maybe a couple plays with the wind. And make Bedford punt into the wind. 3 receivers near side. Straight back. Boone looks out. He's got a man up, losing his gription is number 3, D'Angelo Howard, as he tried to circle back for the ball. Deshaun Brooks and Justin Sturgill out on the coverage, or Brandon Sturgill, excuse me. And Bedford will have to kick with 45 seconds to go, so the punt's going to be into the wind. Break for Lorain.
Outside the numbers, Jay, is probably the most moist part of the field, so that's where you're going to lose your traction out there, and that wind definitely deadened that ball.
And that was a long pass. Oh, Torres almost got another one. Look at the wind knock this down. It's going to land on the positive side of the 50 and be downed at about the 44-yard line. So that's a 7-yard punt.
Wow.
And the wind just, you could see it knock it down. It was.
Yeah, that ball just went straight up, and it had no energy behind it, no power behind it. It went straight up like a major league pop-up. But the Titans still have the wind to their back, Jay. Let's see if they still want to throw the ball at least before they start going into the wind, because that wind is playing a factor.
It's significant. And with a 14-0 lead, plus 44-yard line, the field position, let's see what Coach McFarland wants to do. Brooks and Cross near side, Dower far side. Sturgill's got Huff and Chavis in the backfield. That's Carlos Chavis. Little Bro carried the ball once tonight. Now they changed things up a little bit. Justin reads the defense, gives it to Carlos. Carlos keeps the legs driving. He was hit at the line. Now look at this.
Look at that run.
Carlos Chavis got 15 yards of yak, but it's going to come back on a hold.
It looks like it was a face mask, Jay.
Well, I'm hoping. Well, you know what? That's what the signal looks like.
So they're going to attack 15 yards on top of that.
Maybe just the 5, the way the signal
Okay,
went.
yep.
But what a run.
Let's look at that. Hopefully get that replay of that, Jay, because let's see where he was hit.
So he's going to get 14 on the carry and 5 on the march off.
See if we can get a replay by
Yes.
Jaden real quick.
Jack of all trades, Jaden Morales. Hit at the line, bounces. There's the face mask, and that was a very generous 5-yard face mask because his head pulled down.
And he picked up another 7 yards with someone on his back.
1st and 10 at the 25. Titans already up 14-0 as the first quarter, 30 seconds left, and the clock should be running, but not. Straight ahead. That's Chavis again, nothing there. He is maybe a yard, and that might do it as the clock is at 15 seconds and running.
Jay, the hole is there on those outside runs, and then just if you'd like to see the linemen hold on to their block just a little bit longer so Chavis can get to that second level.
Well, we've played 15 minutes at the George, and it's 14-0 Lorain as Lorain looks for playoff position. Back with second quarter action after this timeout.
In an instant, life can change. Hi, I'm veteran J.R. Martinez. If you've been hurt or disabled due to your service, the last thing you need to do is hurry up and wait for a VA claims decision. Make sure you file an electronic, fully developed claim or e-claim for disability compensation on e-benefits. It's the fastest and easiest way to get a claims decision. Learn more at ebenefits.va.gov. E-claims and e-benefits. Online VA claims made simple.
Which of the angles on the board are the one from the quiz on Friday? Jaden?
Research shows more and more 12 to 15-year-olds have arteries similar to that of a 45-year-old. But it doesn't have to be that way. Don't let your children grow up too fast. Encourage them to act their age through regular exercise and healthy eating.
Back here at George Daniel, presentation between quarters to the American Cancer Society. This was the blackout night, sponsored by Tracy Menges and her training staff, my niece Hannah Hilko, chief among them, and they sold 600 and some t-shirts, and they just donated over $500 to the American Cancer Society from Lorain High School blackout night.
What a great job by Hannah and her family. Personal Stitch did a nice job.
The shirts are really nice.
Oh, they're good quality shirts. They're not just, your old 100% cotton you wear them one time and they're going to shrink. These are quality shirts.
Wear them once and you've got a golf towel. These were very nice shirts and an attractive logo.
Looks like we lost a signal or power on our replay cameras there.
Okay.
Monitors, I should say, but I think we'll get us back up and running here in a second.
2nd and 9 for Lorain. Sturgill keeps it. Sturgill down inside the 20. Nice little bit of dipsy-do there from Justin. We came back, but we were orange for a minute. Now we're good. 3rd down and a long 4 for Lorain at about the 19-yard line. That's Huff. Huff tries to bounce it outside. He gets the corner inside of 15. Ball is loose and out of bounds, so the Titans are going to – the good news is they'll retain the ball. The bad news is they lost the 1st down, so give Huff, instead of 5, give him 2, and they're going to need 2 on 4th down.
Yeah, Aaron is saying that he was down when he let the ball go, but the referee is disagreeing with him and saying that he fumbled before he hit the ground, and brings up 4th down. And
they wanted a review.
Yeah, about 3.
So Sturgill with 4th and long 2 anyhow. Chavis time. Carlos inside the 15 has the 1st down.
Nice run.
And boy, you could hear the pads popping, couldn't you?
If you want your son to play running back, you don't want to be at this game tonight because there are hits being delivered, and these defenders are coming downhill, I should say.
And Carlos Chavis, he knows what he needs to gain and puts the head down. He's over 1,000 for the year. The officials winding the clock vigorously. 11:20 to go, first half. Titans 14-0, looking for more at the 14-yard line. Sturgill, Huff, not much that time, maybe a yard. Let's give Aaron the 13.
We've got to pay attention to Aaron carrying that ball with one hand. You'd like to see him covering up with 2 balls, especially with 2 hands, especially when he's inside there with contact.
Ball right in the middle of the field now, which I was thinking Zion Cross time. Rolling out Sturgill, that's who he's looking for. Instead, he goes to the end zone. Oh, Bohannon got a hand on it, but just unable. A little too tall even for Nas. And
I really like the play call there, Jay. You went against your tendencies. You're going into the wind. They rolled Justin to the wide side of the field, given only single receiver that he had to read, 1 defender, and made a nice throw there where only his receiver could catch the ball. And,
I'm thinking that they were looking for maybe Zion out in the flat like they ran last week on that under, but he was certainly covered. 3rd and 9. Sturgill flagged down. Sturgill goes to the corner to Cross. Cross, touchdown. Zion's in the house, but we'll have to read the flag. In fact, Zion's out on the street. He ran so far. I think it's going to be a false start.
Oh, how disappointing, Jay, because
Great throw.
they've ran that corner route to such success the last 2 weeks. There's that chemistry between Justin and Zion that, a lot of people aren't talking about, but the illegal procedure is going to bring that off or not.
He did the little pump fake like he was going to throw the bubble screen, and Zion just took off. So instead of a touchdown, it's going to be 3rd and 14 back at the 19. Titans could have really blown it open with that play. But still in the red zone. 3rd and 14. Obviously, it's going to be 2-down territory left here. Sturgill goes back to the corner to Brooks. I was going to say that one got shot down by the wind.
Yeah, that was like one of those clay pigeons that Lorain alum Stacy Hotke used to shoot down.
Yep.
And she used to shoot down a classmate of mine.
Okay.
But here you go. I like the play call there. You're going to loosen up the defense. Even if you run the ball here and you turn it over on downs, you got Bedford backed up. Just don't want to turn over the ball where you can have a big play by that secondary.
Right. So 4th and 14 at the 18. Now Brooks crosses over. He's going to be in the slot with Bohannon. Crosses near side by himself, timeout Lorain. That's Coach Eddie Hall out. Not sure whether they were looking for the 2 bigs on the same side to maybe cross. But you had Zion out here as a free runner. So we'll see what they come up with. Bedford took the opening kickoff and quickly marched down about 50 yards before turning it over on an interception by Naz Bohannon. Titans picked up a couple of first downs, and then with the first down on the 44, Brandon Sturgill, I've done this all night. This is Justin, the quarterback. Ball fakes, beautiful fakes, and comes out of it and heaves it down the center of the field to a streaking Deshaun Brooks, who goes 56 yards to put the Titans on top. Huff picked up the 2, and it was 8-0. And then following a Bedford fumble, it was Aaron Huff, 5 yards for the second score, and that's where we're at, 14-0, as the extra point was no good. All set now, cross to the near side alone. Brooks and Bohannon together on the far side. He fakes, now he wants cross, now it's covered, and he's going to eat it. Not a bad decision. Loss of a yard.
You just said a great decision by Sturgill not to throw that ball into double coverage. They tried to go with that pump and go, and they were all over it. You'd like to see maybe that ran to the wide side of the field, but you got that wind really coming into your face there. So,
well, unfortunately, the touchdown on 3rd down was called back. Bedford's going to take over on the 20, 1st and 10, and they've survived 3 turnovers to only be down 14-0. Under center now, give to Gunter. He's hitting the backfield, going to lose a couple.
Kelvin Torres.
Along with big Mr. Wyatt.
I'm telling you, those 2 young men have really stepped up after week 6. They've just made a name for themselves and just have really turned it up to that next level.
They've gone for quickness in the middle with Torres, that's for sure. Very similar to what Aaron McDowell supplied last year. There's a bubble screen. Going to get ahead, slipped.
Again, outside the numbers, you see where the turf gave away, but we got a penalty on the near side.
It's going to come back. It's a Bedford false start. So instead of a 5-yard gain, I would anticipate him going backwards to about the 13 and make it second and, well, let's call it 16. Boy, you just look down on the sidelines and the jackets and the coaches and the pom-poms from the cheerleaders. Everything is just flapping in this wind, and the flag is snapping. It is certainly fall in the air.
And the fan base is kind of letting the weather get to them because they're kind of sitting on their hands. Yep. I expected more of a raucous crowd here tonight.
We need those mini cheerleaders out there on the track. That's coming up later in this one as well.
We got the Lorain Pioneers youth football program here. It's a nice night here at George Daniel Field, even in this inclement weather.
2nd and 16 for the Bearcats back at the 14. Arshawn Boone, surprisingly, has gone the whole way at quarterback.
Titans are showing blitz, that double-A gap blitz with Quint Pardone and Huff.
And that bad snap. Ball down at the 4. Boone picks it up, throws it to nobody, If this doesn't bring a flag, I don't know what will.
There's it. There's a flag right there.
There's the intentional grounding, came from the downfield official.
So loss of down.
And back at the 4, so it's going to be 3rd down. And, 26, 27, they're going to put him at the 3.
Watch for the delay or some type of draw to draw the defensive lineman in, because Antonio White, Calvin Torres, and the rest of the down linemen are really getting downhill.
I wonder if the center hit his leg or something. That one wasn't just low, it was wide right.
Definitely on that replay. You'd hate to think the wind would have gotten that thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just, he never had a chance. It was totally outside of his body. Now they're spotting the ball. The loss of down makes it 3rd down. The box is at about the 3-yard line, so I've got 3rd and 27 as the first down markers at the 30.
They went half the distance to the goal, I believe.
Okay, now they've moved it back inside the 2, so even farther. Let's call it 3rd and 28. 2 receivers to each side for Boone.
Missed the snap again.
It's on the ground. It's in the end zone. It's going to be 2. Boone is tackled for a safety.
Guess who?
Antonio Wyatt. Wow. Antonio Wyatt in their house.
The deuce. Antonio White, I mean, I hate to keep harping on the young man, but you got to give credit where credit is due. He missed the game, came back, and has been nothing but huge for these Titans. He beat his man one-on-one.
Did they not give him the safety?
Oh, good night.
No, they didn't give him the safety. Unbelievable. So, my bad.
Wow, there's no way that's not a safety.
I tell you that I saw an official with his hands together from on the near side. So 4th and a lot. They just want to, short snap, line drive kick.
Eccles.
Hits it about the 22. Sean Eccles is going to just try and pick it up and land with it inside the 35. Sean down near the 30 got greeted rather rudely. Sean Eccles is all of about 5'6" and 140 soaking wet.
We like to call a guy like that little buddy.
And when you got one of them holding him up, this Bedford team brings the lumber, and he got really popped.
But you know what? Coach McFarland likes those young men with heart. And
he's got it. Yes.
So I'd love to see this replay again. He fumbled the ball.
It never left the end zone, so I don't feel bad. Officials are human too, and let's see if we can get 6 out of it instead of 2. 1st and 10 Titans at the 31, following the good stand by the defense after the Titans turned it over on downs. Sturgill has got Huff and Chavis on either side. Dower in the slot now inside of Brooks. Crosses out to the far side alone. Carlos Chavis inside the 30 to about the, let's see, they give him close to the 25. Let's call it the 26. He didn't get quite to the 25. 2nd down, give him a long 5. Boy, is that wind whipping. The flag, you can almost hear it snapping in the breeze. Sturgill tosses it to Huff. Huff gets outside, inside the 20, and out of bounds for a 1st down. Aaron Huff's going to take it from the 26.
Love the play call there, Jay. You got all those guys crowding in that box at the line of scrimmage. You go against your tendency, get to the edge. Nice block on the outside there. Who is that out there? Is that Zion?
That's Zion.
Good job by Zion getting his head in there, making a block.
So let's give him the 18, so give Huff 8 yards on the carry. 1st and 10, Lorain. 8 minutes to go, first half.
No one has guarded Davion Dower.
I think Sturgill didn't want to give it to Chavis, and Chavis wanted it. And Chavis ran like he wanted it because he got down to about the 12 or 13-yard line. Miscommunication. That was the option. And it was, in Brandon's mind, it was going to be the first option, pull it out, or Justin's mind. I've done it all night. I'm sorry. I've known these guys forever.
That's just the case. That's just the case where the senior says, "Give me the ball, kid."
That's Chavis, and he's down inside the 10, close to a first down.
Looks like they're going to spot it.
That was a football come flying out of there. Doesn't look like they're going to give him a first down, which is okay, because the shorter you can get a first and goal, the better off you are.
And you're eating up that clock, Jay.
6:57 to go. Lorain's got to get in the end zone here because they have dominated this first half.
You got to step on, you put them away.
Chavis just busting people. Carlos Chavis on the doorstep. Wow.
7-yard run there, Jay.
Yep.
He got contact again at the line of scrimmage, continued to pump his legs a la Roger Craig from the 80s, and just a great job.
Let's see this, if we can see the leg drive here. Carlos Chavis, look how low he gets, and look at the legs.
Wow.
I mean, that's like pushing a sled.
Great job.
So first and goal, give him the 1. Titans looking to go up 3 scores. Sturgill, Chavis, Carlos to the house. Carlos bounced off there and took it a little wider. So we didn't get the safety, but Carlos Chavis gets a 2-yard run. And the Titans on the board for the 3rd time go up 20-0. And they are manhandling a 7-1 football team right now. I don't want to jinx them, but they're having their way.
Myron Wilson, Solomon Villarreal did a great job, man-to-man, mano-a-mano. Like Coach Terry King used to tell us, you got to be an hombre. And you can see in this replay, Myron Wilson gets that one piece, gets a second piece. It collapses the defensive line for 6.
And all 5 of those guys up front these last couple of weeks since the Dower injury, and they've gone more to the running game, those 5 guys, Rogers, Villarreal, Larson, Wilson, and Worthy, have just dominated football games. 20 looking for 22 for the Titans. Far side hash mark. Dower and Brooks to the near side. Sturgill keeps it again. That not going to get there. So for the second time, the keeper fails on the extra point. But the Titans did open it up at 20-0.
On that 2-point conversion, looks like there was a breakdown in communication, but you're putting 6 up on the board. You're still putting that distance, creating that distance between you and the Bedford squad, and you're inching ever so closely to the running clock, Jay. We got to see it last week, and we talked about not liking it.
How'd you like to have a running clock against a 7-1 team?
Oh boy, I tell you what, that's gonna be a huge. If that happens, Jay, that would be huge for this program and huge to let the state know that the Titans are for real.
Yes, and right now with 6:20 to go in the half, you're up 20-0, and your thought is let's get it back and get one more.
Yeah, you could tell this offense believes that they can't be stopped. They're going downhill. The defense, after they figured out those traps after those first 2 series, Bedford has been able to do nothing.
Right.
And they've really been stymied.
And they've looked Toledo start like in the handling the ball from center.
Oh yeah, it's trouble.
So 6:20, and Bedford, in their defense, they didn't get here till 20 after 6. And I was downstairs when they walked in, and I turned to, I can't remember who I was talking to, and I said, they look cold and sleepy.
Here's a question, though. Was that before you got your popcorn or after?
It was, I was just before. I was on my way.
Antonio Wyatt.
Kickoff by Sturgill is going to go into the bench and out of bounds.
We're helping out some fans here.
Yep.
Getting used to this Titan personnel. We've known about these young men as we get to see them week in and week out.
The numbers on the program for Lorain are the visiting numbers. That's the white uniforms. They don't all wear the same. And the big confusion comes with big Antonio Wyatt, who's number 91 on the roster, number 74 on his jersey, and he's got 97 on his helmet, Rick.
You ready for this, Jay? 17 plays for this Bearcat offense, only 29 yards.
And they had more than that on their opening drive.
Wow.
So 1st and 10 at the 35. Again, trouble with the snap, and again, Antonio Wyatt eats a running back.
Jay, I'm getting goosebumps about, and it's not has nothing to do with this weather.
No.
And you know what it has to do with is we had the pleasure of covering Rashad Berry.
Yes.
I've had the privilege of covering Tracy Sprinkle.
Yes.
Okay, and those are the type of plays that D1 athletes make, and that's how you get noticed on a Friday night.
You know, Antonio Wyatt is playing on the near side, and that play was going to the far side, and you know who that reminded me of? I'll throw an old name at you. That reminded me of Orlando Pace in high school.
I was going to
right there.
say that also. Good observation.
Unbalanced line now for Bedford. Straight back wanting to throw. There's the bubble screen caught on the sideline. It's going to have a first. Not going to have a first down until after the flag. It's going to be. This is going to be a.
Are they going to hit him for targeting?
Yes.
Now, Jay, in the Ohio high school rules, is the player ejected for targeting?
I don't know. I think this is going to be 15, and I can't tell who it is. You had Chavis over there, you had Bohannon over there, and you had Brooks over there, and I think Brooks is the one pleading his case.
It looked, from my vantage point, it looked like it was Carlos with the smack.
There's the hit to the head, 15 yards.
If there's any solace in there, they're not making the signal that a player's been ejected,
Right.
so that's a good thing.
The gain was to the 44, which was 12 yards on the pass, and then the mark-off is going to go across to the 41. So Bedford back in Lorain territory. Here it is. There's the blocks. It's okay because it was behind the line, and that was Chavis.
See, you know, that one, his head was up.
No, I thought that was. That was touchy, but give straight ahead and about 3 yards before Gunter is ridden to the ground.
Now you can see that's a nice play call there by the Bearcats, allowing the defensive ends to get upfield and going right up behind them with that delay handoff.
So 3-yard gain on first down makes it 2nd and 7, 5:08 to go. Bedford trying to get on the board. Boone all the way at quarterback, straight back, wants to throw, looking downfield. Now got a man down there, just overthrows everybody.
And he paid the price, Calvin Torres.
Oh, I turned and looked to see the receiver, and Calvin, all I saw was the quarterback down on one knee trying to count to 10.
You know, when you're coaching, the play to the whistle, you know, he did everything was legal. He had an opportunity to let the quarterback know that, hey, you're going to get hit tonight. Jay, on the night, Boone is 2 of 9.
No, he's got 4. He's thrown 4 that have been caught because we've caught a couple of them.
You have me all worried about my stats, and I pride myself on my stats, Jay. Stop doing that.
Now, cloud to the far side, a trio of receivers on the near side for Boone. It's 3rd and 7.
Watch that dig route behind the 2 verticals inside, Jay.
Yep.
There's the verticals.
There it is. Pass complete to D'Angelo Howard down near the 20, call it the 21. Tackle on the play by Chavis, but first down Bedford. Let's give him the 22 rather than the 21. 16 on the play on 3rd down, and they're in business at the 22 with 4:47 to go. Boone one-hands the snap. The handoff was to Wilkins. Wilkins still going inside the 10, down near the 5. Falling forward to about the 2. It's going to be 1st and goal inside the 5.
20-yard rip there by Wilkins.
And this is a play. Boone one-handed the snap and then handed it to Wilkins, and everything was screwed up because the snap was screwed up. So 1st and goal for Bedford. Now there's whistles and a timeout for Bedford, as Lorain had 12 men if they'd have snapped the ball because Wyatt didn't get off. They're just trying to give Antonio a blow. When you're carrying 320 around with you, sometimes you need it.
320, great strength, good lower body power.
What an and have you ever seen him dunk a basketball?
You know, I heard that in the broadcast when we were last week. You mentioned that, and
oh my goodness.
But he doesn't play on. He doesn't play.
You know what? I was in a gym class that I saw him last year, and they were just playing a little pickup basketball, and all of a sudden, I didn't know who he was. And I said, "Who in the heck is that?" And Antonio Wyatt, he didn't play this year because he had transferred from Elyria, and so he sat out his sophomore year of football. But he's a force today.
One thing, Jay, real quick, if I may, something that can galvanize a team and galvanize a defense is a good goal line stand.
Oh, yes.
And you're going to need these in the playoffs. So let's see if this Titan defense can answer the bell.
I formation now. Boone under center.
Wilkins is a lone tailback.
He's straight ahead. He's going to fall forward. He puts it on. I can't believe that that's a fumble. Yeah, that's a touchdown. I can't be that much of a homer. He slammed the ball to the ground in the end zone, so he was either down by contact or a touchdown, and it's a touchdown. Wilkins, 2 yards, and Bedford on the board.
Wilkins, who had been primarily on defense, got a chance to run the ball there.
Yes.
Run starts to the right side. He runs over Aaron Huff and through Quentin Pardone. Crosses the plane, but.
Yeah. So 20-6, Bedford will look for a conversion.
Because remember, guys, it just has to cross the plane.
Yep.
It doesn't have to actually be inside. Just as long as it crosses the front part of that white line, that's a touchdown.
Number 50, Jared Weingart, will attempt the extra point. Snap back, kick up, and true. So Weingart knocks it through, and they cut into the Titans' lead at 20-7 with 4:28 to go in the second quarter. That was a good answer. That was a minute and a half it took them to go the length of the field. They were aided by a couple of third down conversions and a 15-yard targeting penalty on that drive, but they put something together for the first time since the opening drive.
And we were talking a little bit about the running clock and things like that. That was probably a little premature because I've seen a Coach Sean Williams coach team, and they're very, like you mentioned, very disciplined, very well coached, and be mindful of an onside kick here. I've seen him do it before.
The situation is 4:28, and you know what? That's Manny Brown right in the middle. Now Naz Bohannon and Robert Mahaffey are on this side of him. Pardone is on the far side along with another skill person. Sean Eccles is up here at the 40, so they're expecting something. Sulame Sek puts his foot into the ball. It's going to hit at about the 20.
Day-day.
Skid down to Brooks. Brooks dances. That's not the idea. As he gets outside the 25 to about the 26. And the Titans will take over theirs, which is okay, up by 13 at 20-7. Titans have 2 timeouts left and 4:22 to go. And of course, in high school football, the clock stops on a first down, so plenty of time left in the half. And you'd love to get one now and then get it coming out, because Lorain will receive to start the second half. Ball near side hash. Chavis on the slant out across the 30 for 5.
They must have seen something in film where they can run behind that offensive line of Myron Williams and Solomon Villarreal, who are doing a great job on that right side, just creating a seam that Carlos can get through.
4 minutes and the clock moves. 2nd and 5. Huff, the same play to the near side. Huff moves the pile out near the 34. Going to give him 3. 3rd and a couple.
Again, we talk week in and week out about being in that third and manageable situation where, the whole playbook is open because Dave McFarland, the Riverboat Gambler, he has no problem going for it on 4th down.
And here's Bedford wanting a timeout. They recognize a key point in the game. They'd love to get the ball back. They have some offensive momentum after the last drive where they went 65 yards. And they would love to get a stop here and make – and Titans with a good spot at the 35 actually gave him 4 yards, so it's 3rd and 1. And they would love to make Coach McFarland make a decision on 4th down.
And he is not shy about doing that. He empowers his men.
Yeah, absolutely.
His young men, I should say. And
absolutely.
He believes in them, believes in them in the community. And, what I like to see is I'm driving around town seeing, Sly Worthy on the billboard with all the community leaders, seeing Carlos. They get it.
Yep.
Coach McFarland gets it.
Carlos at the Browns game a couple of weeks ago on the field.
Nice.
Dower now in motion. Chavis going to follow him. Now, Chavis is not going to get there, I don't think. Chavis may have lost a little bit.
Yeah, Carlos never got his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. He tried to follow Dower as he went in there to block.
And what that did, that motion gave it away. Now there's a whistle and another timeout for Bedford. And which gives Coach McFarland just the decision that you wanted them to have to make, they have to make now. 4th and we'll call it a yard. The ball's right at the 35. Riverboat Gambler, or of course the wind has such an effect on the punt. We saw a 7-yard punt from Bedford on a ball that got up in the air.
And I believe, Coach McFarland believes in his defense also. So,
right.
He has a lot of senior-laden defense, and, hey, put it on them.
Well, the offense is staying out. Sturgill is out there.
I could even see a hard count here.
Bohannon is going to be out to the wide side here with Dower inside of him. Cross is on the line at the far side, the receiver, about 10 yards wide.
Look at, there's no safety back.
Look at, that's a goal line defense for Bedford. Let's see if they run that little toss sweep. He's not going to get
leakage
there. He's not good. They're just too many. They didn't have enough to block him.
Yeah, they were just outflanked.
1st and 10. Yep, they just had too many men. There was 7 up front for Bedford, and Lorain had 5 on the line. There just weren't enough Titans, and no chance at all for Aaron Huff. And we're going to call it no gain, and Bedford's going to take over on the, I hate to call it a goal line stand at the 35, but that's what it was.
Yeah, number 13 shot through there for Bedford.
I mean, Chavis picked him off a little bit, but that meant that he couldn't get a block in the hole. So 1st and 10 Bedford on the 35 as they look to creep back in. Titans had a 20-0 lead. Bedford cut it to 13 the last possession, and they're in business again. Bobbled snap. Wyatt's back there chasing. Throw is over to the coach. That ball hit a Bearcat out on the running track near the band and will go incomplete, but good heady play by our Sean Boone. Lots of bad things could have happened, and again with the snap.
Yeah, they're having all kinds of problems with that shotgun snap, and haven't watched them on film. I haven't seen that all year, and that's uncharacteristic of this defense, of offense, I should say.
Now the good news for Bedford is the clock stops at 3:16. 2nd and 10. Trips to the far side. Single receiver near side is Cloud. Give straight ahead. That's Wilkins. It was a direct snap. And he's got to be ahead for about 13 and a first down to the 22.
Yeah, they've seen something with Wilkins running the ball, and that was Antonio Wyatt there unattackable. Right back to the line of scrimmage are the Bearcats.
What?
Yeah, you can't do that.
I don't think they were signaled for play yet. I don't think there's going to be a penalty here.
I can get a redo.
Yeah. Yeah, the clock stops on the first down, and they have to signal the ball ready for play. And they didn't do that. Now, I guess technically it could be a delay of game, but
well, they're discussing it.
You can see the wind out there playing with the stripes on the back of the official's shirt. Now we've got a dead ball, false start, or delay a game. There it was. They snapped it before it was marked ready for play, so it'll cost them 5.
In their series where they've had self-inflicted wounds, have you seen where they've had turnovers and miscues?
Right.
When the one time they had a clean drive, that's where they were able to score.
Right. In fact, they had a Lorain penalty that really benefited them. So Boone's got him.
Direct snap again.
Wilkins down inside the 25 to about the 24. So he got the 5 yards back.
Antonio Wyatt again on that tackle.
He's been a man-child this half. Second and 11. 2:47 and the clock is running. Boone's going to go under center now. Probably a good move with the trouble they've had with the snap. Takes it, drops straight back, wants to throw, got a man over the middle. Too low for number 3, Howard. That'll stop the clock, and again, Mr. Torres said hello to Mr. Boone.
The emergence of this defensive line is something that people in the area need to pay notice to, because Antonio Wyatt, Kelvin Torres, Larsosa.
Yeah, and now Solomon Villarreal comes in to spell Wyatt.
and also Corbin, along with Nas Bohannon. I mean, they are terrorizing quarterbacks since week 5.
3rd and 11.
Wilkins is alone back there.
2:32. Under center is Boone. Wilkins with 2 receivers to each side now motion.
Fumble
ball on the ground, and Titans have it. And I think that's Solomon Villarreal.
You called it. He checks into the game, makes a big-time play, the senior does.
And that time they were under center, and I think he got the snap clean and was going to run the jet sweep and just dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested
That was
to
crazy.
see
I want to see it again.
You know, Solomon's telling everybody they were scared. That's why they fumbled the ball.
That's right. They were running away from
Let's
me.
see what happens.
No, he didn't get it clean.
Not clean at all.
And Villarreal was right there.
Man, this is very
Wyatt is now telling him that he'd have scooped and scored. So 1st and 10 for Lorain. The defense comes through after the
huge
stop on downs, gives up 9 yards, but gets up the 4th turnover of the half for Bedford. 20-7 Lorain, 2:29 to go. Let's see what they want to do here. They want to run Carlos Chavis to the outside. Big hit, but spins off of it outside the 30 to the 31. 2:20 to go, and the clock is ticking. Sturgill comes over and gets the play. 2nd down and about 5.
Carlos Chavis, 19 carries, 72 yards on the night, Jay.
But now approaching 1,100 on the season.
You know what I'd like to see is that misdirection with Zion Cross right now to the wide side of the field. They haven't ran it yet.
He's not on the flank, so he can't come in motion. But as he's playing a split end now,
he's looking at. He wants to see that
wants
back
to
judge.
see the clock. They're not in any hurry. Toss sweep. Chavis stiff arms a man, but gets ahead. Nice job spinning and got something out of nothing. Going to give him a couple up to the 38. Minute 33 to go. Titans appear to be content to either try and break a run or take it in and get warm and come out and get the ball to start the second half.
Sly had a nice block. If Davion could have held on to that block a little bit longer, Carlos might have been able to spring that one to the outside.
3rd and a couple. I'll give him 3rd and 3.
Man-to-man outside with Zion.
Into the wind.
I know, but.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And there is no safety. When you say man-to-man, it is man-to-man. Timeout. That's a good move. They ran the clock down to a minute and called timeout. Now, that might have been by direction. Let's see how they line up. Now, the problem is they have 8 men in the box. We have 5 linemen. So Zion's got one move to get open if they decide they want to throw, because they just can't account for everybody.
Advantage Bedford inside the box there.
But advantage Lorain if Zion can get an inside release and get loose on a slant.
And you have to say that, Coach Williams is using the wind to his advantage.
Absolutely.
When they're going the opposite way, you've never seen that look, because he had to respect the pass.
Right, and the big one the Titans got early on. So this has been a strategy battle by these two coaches. And right now, Bedford has got to be pretty. Now there's a safety back. Now Wilkins is back. And Jones is, the strong safety is up as a linebacker. Toss sweep, Chavis.
Nice
first down. And a little bit more out to the 40, driving ahead to the 43. There's no quit in Carlos Chavis. But
10 yards on that one.
All after contact. That was the little toss sweep that the Titans have run the last couple of weeks.
And the Bearcat defense kind of broke that contain that they've been showing in that bunch to line of scrimmage, I should say.
Wilkins is still in at safety. They're bump and run down here on Nas Bohannon and up top on Cross.
Pop pass to Davion Dower like right now.
I think Aaron Huff gets up across the 45 to the 47, give him 5. And I think that's going to do it. Maybe they'll run one more. Bohannon back to the line. Tightens up. Dower inside of him. The timeout loosened up the Bedford defense. Chavis bellies it across the 50. One hand on the ground down to about the 42. It's going to stop the clock. Titans now will take a timeout. Or not. 3 seconds to go. This clock stops on the first down. Lorain has it at the 41. Carlos has got to be over 100 now, right?
Give him 11 yards on that carry,
Yep.
right? Yeah, that carry takes him right to 95 yards.
95, okay.
22 carries in the
Now
first
there's
half.
a flag, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on Lorain. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this is.
Sideline warning?
That's not what they're walking something off.
Were they warned once and then
I did not see a sideline warning.
I didn't see one earlier. I mean, I have no idea what that could be.
Well, I think that'll make the decision easier. The ball comes back to the 44 of Bedford. And they wind the clock. And they wind the clock. That's the half. I'm sure the scoreboard operator missed the memo, Rick.
Yeah, they didn't see that.
So that'll do it. End of the half. 3 seconds left. The Titans did not have to put it in play, and they didn't. So we played 2 here at George Daniel. Lorain 20, 7-1 Bedford 7. Back with the Lorain High Band after this.
Hi, my name is Josh Minnick. I'm 17 years old and in 11th grade at Lorain High School. I'm a medical assistant student in Lorain High's Career Tech Education program. I took medical terminology and loved it. Then I took anatomy and physiology and loved it. It really fascinates me and I like helping people. It gets quite interesting when you get into the bodily functions and how it all works. Most of the classes here are pretty great. I found the teachers to be quite good too. One of the best teachers I ever met is Mr. Hudasek. He teaches with a hands-on approach and he's quite good at what he does. This experience has helped me make my career decision. I'm glad I'm in this program because I'm more confident about what I want to do with my life. And it's all thanks to Lorain High's Career Tech Medical Assisting program.
Sergeant Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and has the medals to prove it. Soon after leaving the Navy, Lieutenant Chris Scott found a job, a home, and started a family of his own. Corpsman Richard Stokely took the skills he learned in Vietnam and put them to good use as a paramedic. But soon after leaving the military, each of these veterans fell on hard times and faced homelessness. Even after Michelle lost all her savings, even after Chris wasn't able to pay his mortgage, and even after Richard battled alcoholism for years, they each reached out for help when they needed it most. A simple phone call put them in touch with a trained professional from the Department of Veterans Affairs. That call got Michelle a place to stay until she could afford one of her own, put Chris in touch with employment assistance, and found Richard a substance abuse program. These veterans are success stories not only for how they were able to help others while serving their country, but for how they were able to let others help them. If you know of or are a veteran in need, make the call.
Inspiring city and campus. Inspiring people. Inspiring creativity. Inspiring hands-on learning. Inspiring global experiences. Inspiring traditions. Be a Buckeye. Inspire.
Back here at halftime, Lorain 20 and Bedford 7. Rick, you've got some stats for us?
Yeah, tonight on the ground, Carlos Chavis, 22 carries, 95 yards. Aaron Huff, 10 carries, 34 yards and a touch. Justin Sturgill through the air tonight. He's only 1 of 3, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for 56 yards. 40 total plays, 190 yards, and one of the big plays was Deshaun Brooks. 1 catch, 56 yards to the house.
Can't beat that. Titans will start with the ball. Suleme Sek, number 1, will put it in play for Bedford from the south end. So they have elected not only to kick, but to kick into the wind. So the Titans will have the ball in the wind. Brooks and Cross at the 20-yard line. Kickoff end over end. This is Brooks at about the 24. Bounces it, falls on it at the 29.
Does a smart thing, Jay.
Yep. So the Titans will start back in. Looks like they might have put it down at the 30.
You know, I'm just looking at the kicker's name, Suleme Sek.
Yeah.
What a name.
Absolutely. Soulemeye. First and 10, Titans at the 30. They lead by 13. Sturgill is the quarterback the whole way. That's Justin Sturgill. Straight ahead, he keeps it, runs the option, ball fakes, and going to get about 4. As my partner gets spoiled,
yes.
Fans bringing him coffee and.
Much love to Beth Marciniak, mother of Haley Marciniak, who graduated last year from the Lorain High Titans.
Absolutely. So, second and about 6 for Lorain. 11:30 to go. Rogers over the ball. Larson and Villarreal, the guards. Worthy and Wilson. Sturgill pitches on the option that time. Late pitch to Chavis. Run the short side option.
I don't like that, Jay, because you don't have enough.
Because it's the short side.
Exactly. But you know what? You do it to keep the defense honest, give them a different look to that side. They're going to be about a yard short there, Jay.
Yep. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. And Titans got stuffed on 3rd and 4th and 1 late in the first half. Big stat in the first half was Bedford with 4 turnovers. Bouncing off, and Aaron Huff bounces off the first man, yards after contact out to the 46, moves the stick, give him 7.
Nice job. You know, this offense looks very similar to the one that the Buckeyes run, less all the motion and shifting and stuff like that, but the concept is the same. Get to the line of scrimmage, get downhill, put your playmakers in a position to succeed.
Look at now, there's 5 down linemen for Bedford. Is they're putting a hat on the line, so there's a cut.
Nice.
Chavis keeps the legs driving across the 50 down to the 44. That'll move the stick. 1st and 10, give him 12.
On that 24th carry, give him 112 yards on a night, averaging 4.7 yards per rip.
That'll get it done. And the repetitions keeps him moving. 1st and 10, Lorain, 44-yard line. Huff inside the 40. Huff down near the, wow. The strength of the Titans is on display as Villarreal helps Huff up. Villarreal and Worthy on the near side did a great job that time.
Worthy got to that second level, got a piece of that linebacker to spring Huff there.
Nowhere to go that time. If I was going to be critical of one thing, it's the option. The first option is taking a little too long, and the exchange between Justin and Aaron that time was a little slow, and no gain was the result. They like the right side right now, even though it's the short side. We'll see what they decide on 3rd and a couple. 9:25 to go, 3rd quarter. Titans by 13. Straight ahead, Chavis. He's got the first down. He's got more. Carlos Chavis bakes it inside the 10 to the 5, down to the doorstep.
34-yard rip, Jay.
Yep, he's all the way down to the 1 yard line. And I was just, when you read the stats off, I was going to say the one thing lacking is the big gainer. And he just popped it. 34 yards on first down, and it's 1st and goal on the 1 as the Titans look to add to their 20-7 lead. Aaron Huff to the house. That was a quick hitter, and everybody looked like they were standing up waiting for Aaron to score.
Wow, what a great drive. And, when you get those big runs that Carlos had on a previous play, it happens when the wide receivers block downfield. Zion Cross had a great block downfield, and right there, the middle of that line, Rashad Rogers, Solomon Villarreal, and Larson are just doing a great job at the point of attack, opening up those holes.
As we said, much of that drive featured 5 down linemen for Bedford. And they're lining up helmet on helmet, and our guys were getting a piece and getting to the second level.
Mano y mano.
And Huff and Chavis also do a good job blocking for each other. Titans looking for 2 more. Sturgill, Huff, pitch to Chavis. Chavis is going to get to the corner. Carlos Chavis walks in.
High stepping in.
Yep. Wilkins give him a little shove after he crossed it, but Chavis with the run, and the Titans go up 28-7. And that's how you want to open. That's how you want to open the second half, is take that kickoff and take almost 3 minutes to go 70 yards. And here it is again, the extra point, the option, pulled it, pitched it, and Carlos just had the angle.
Yeah, the moment that end went inside, it was all over for
all he had to do was beat the safety, and he was closer to the end zone than the safety was. So a great opener to the third quarter, and the Titans open it up 28-7.
You know what? That touchdown by Aaron Huff, we talk about that when you got a big run to get you right to the doorstep, and then you give the handoff to the other running back. We call that being varsity blued.
Yeah.
Where the running back would always get substituted once he got him down to the goal line.
Chavis got one earlier. Huff's got a couple.
He did. And here's the nice thing about it. The kids are so selfless.
They don't care.
Yeah, no, as long as they're winning and they're having fun, that's all that matters.
Sturgill will kick. Bedford crowding up. Wind blowing the ball off the tee again.
Jay, I was talking to Mr. and Mrs. Sturgill at the half, and I said, Justin's doing such a nice job at quarterback. But I was like, but what we enjoy covering the most is his kicks.
Yeah.
I said, we were just kind of saying, hey, can we get a little dribbler right through the middle of the field there? Let's see what he can do.
Ground ball up the guts, what we're looking for. Here's a pop-up to a coach. And that, whoever the coach was not happy to be on the receiving end of that, and Bedford will take over on the 35.
If my eyes aren't deceiving me, that looks like Coach Joyner over there. It's all fired up. I know how he gets fired up.
You know what? He's high-fiving Justin. You know what that does? It takes the return out.
Neutralized it.
As long as they're going to take the ball at the 35. Now remember, they have the option. Now, might we be seeing – oh, no. Okay, there he's still out there. I was going to say, might we be seeing the other quarterback? But Boone is still out there.
Now, this drive, they are going towards the north end zone, which is going right into the teeth of that wind, Jay. So
there's a big tight end coming in on the right side. Got in late. I formation under center, Bedford. Boone. He had trouble with the snap there. No place to go. Gee, who's got him?
Quentin
Pardone. Naz Bohannon was there as well. No gain for Gunter.
Gunter on a night, very pedestrian night so far. 7 carries, only 27 yards.
And he had 20 on his first 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
So 2nd and 10 for the Bearcats. 8:35 to go. And as the clock runs, what the Titans would love here would be to get the ball back with the wind once more.
I agree with you, Jay.
Because Bedford has had no luck punting into the wind. Under center now. Boone fakes it to Wilkins, wants to throws a deep out. He's got a man. It's up in the air. It's picked. It's picked.
Save on
Chavis all the way back down. Up, the ball's loose. Inside, it's down on the 1, and it's covered by, let's wait and see. Flags all over the place.
Touchback.
Is that, no, is it?
I'd like to see that replay, though, is see if was he down when that ball came out. We got flags.
So now
all
we
over
got
the place.
flags everywhere. There's a roughing the passer against the Titans. So everything doesn't matter. None of it happened. The Titans get called for a personal foul on 2nd and 10, and it's going to not only negate the interception, but it's going to be roughing the passer. And there's nobody near Boone when he lets fly, and he Savon picked it off the deflection and made a nice north to south return, but got caught from behind, and they pulled on the ball on that inside arm.
Yeah, I mean, from the angle that we have, you can't tell, but like you said, it's all negated because of the personal foul. It looked like.
So what that does is instead of 3rd and 10, which would have been after an incompletion or Titan ball on an interception, it's 1st and 10 at the 50 for Bedford, and that was number 3, D'Angelo Howard, I believe, who ran him down from behind and made the play, but as we said, it didn't happen.
James Corbin got there late. He was the one that was flagged for roughing the passer.
Okay. 3 receivers to the far side. Under center now is Boone, and they don't like to run their offense like this, but they've had such trouble. Out pattern, complete. Going to be a 9-yard gain, good to Davion Johnson. That was a nice throw.
Into the wind, 9-yard comeback.
What were his numbers in the half, did you say?
He was 4 of 12 for 25 yards.
And he averaged about 230 yards a game.
Yeah, he's getting shut down a little bit.
Give to Wilkins. Now Wilkins has got the first down to about the 37. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. For the first time tonight, I saw a clump of turf come up on a cut. The field is in great condition considering the 24 hours of rain we've had. Boone, big drop, wants to throw, now being chased,
Torres.
Thrown down. Kelvin Torres from the middle. And here comes Antonio.
Here's a nice thing about that play there. Calvin was able to beat his man, cross his face, got penetration in the backfield, but the closing speed.
Yes.
Boone is a pretty quick athlete, but for Torres to close like that and make a play, great job by him.
So, loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Boone drops straight back over the middle, has a man, gain of about 8, and hit immediately. That looks like it might be Sturgill. And that's Brandon Sturgill, the linebacker. So it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Titans are playing loose coverage in the secondary. Now you see Savon Chavis getting a little closer to his man.
Straight back again. They want to throw. There's a slant. Caught. First down. And more down to the 15 on a busted tackle. Dalen Dower with the tackle, but that'll move the sticks, and Bedford smartly down the field. And they've gone under center to alleviate the snap problems, and Boone has moved them through the air.
Three completions in a row by Bedford.
There's the give. Wilkins, Wyatt had him.
Looks like a fumble.
There was a ball loose. Lorain's got it. 5th turnover of the night.
And guess who caused it? Antonio Wyatt.
And I think Aaron Huff came up with it.
If people don't know about Antonio Wyatt, Jaden Morales, they do now.
Yes.
Got to give love to Jaden Morales here in the booth.
The jack of all trades. He's going to be Mr. TV 20 by the time he graduates. 6:10 to go, 3rd quarter. So another productive Bedford drive. Let's look at it. Here comes Wyatt, pushes his man in, pops it loose, and I think it went right to Aaron Huff.
Yeah, exactly right. Wyatt seen him carrying it like a loaf of bread, popped it out.
So Sturgill's got him out to 14, 1st and 10. Titans plus 21 on the night now. Straight ahead give.
Modest pickup there on first down, about 3 yards.
Was that?
Looked like Huff.
I thought it was myself, but it was Chavis that got up. I think Chavis had that carry. 2nd and 7 in any case. That time Huff's got it. Huff's up across the 20, out to the 24. That's going to be close to a first down. The referee stops the clock. It looks like they want to move the sticks.
Give him 7.
All after contact. So Aaron Huff moves the chains. 5:40 to go, third quarter, as they wind it. Titans working with the wind, which is not quite the factor that it's been as we look at the flag and it's hanging down to the pole for the first time all evening.
I wonder if the coaches up in the box are noticing that the wind has changed directions.
Straight back, Sturgill wants to throw. Throws the long fade for Bohannon. He got face guarded. There's flags and beanbags and everything else getting thrown out on the interference. Kevin Brewer just went up and face guarded Nas.
Actually, that ball was actually kind of catchable. Nas almost mistimed his jump there, but he had a guy all over him.
I was going to say he had Brewer at 6'1". Nas is a good 6'5", so they'll move that 15 from the 25 to the 40. And that'll move the chains. And with 5:15 to go in the third quarter, Titans are in business out to the 40. They took over on the fumble at the 14. Second first down on the drive.
I love that play call, Jay. Gives the Bearcat defense something else to think about on first down, loosens them up a little bit.
Look at how tight they are on these receivers on the near side. Give straight ahead Chavis. Chavis out over the 45 to the 46. Give him 6. And he's running downhill now. His fellas up front, Rogers, and that's Villarreal and Wilson on the far side. They are moving them out.
Right back to the line of scrimmage, Jay.
2nd and 4. Let's try it again. Chavis. Give him 3. Out to the 49, 3rd and 1. Clock ticking, 4:40, third quarter.
Jay, here's a question. You know, it's senior night. You think that Carlos went to Coach McFarland and said, hey, I want 30-plus carries tonight?
Well, he's going to get them.
He's on his way.
4.5. A part of it's the weather. Huff's across the 50. That'll move the sticks. Give Aaron a couple. Not much more.
They're going to move those sticks.
Spotted at the 49 of Bedford. And 1st and 10. Dower goes out to the far side. Now he's in the slot inside a cross. They are nose on nose with Zion Cross on the far side. Bohannon is out here to the near side, and they're nose on nose to him, and he's giving away 4 or 5 inches. Give on the angle play to Chavis. A little extracurricular there at the end. Wilkins gave Huff a little shot. Aaron not one to back down, but gain of 3 for Carlos.
And here's the thing I like about that, Jay. Oftentimes you see a young man like Aaron Huff retaliate, did the right thing, got back to the pile, got back to the huddle.
And said, give me the ball.
Yeah,
I'll find him.
Exactly.
4 down linemen now for Bedford. They came off quick. Chavis down to the 40, inside the 40 to the 38. Going to move him again. Carlos Chavis is in full beast mode.
He is. Good Lord. He is delivering the blow. Look at this run here, Jay. I mean, he gets the ball, again, gets
boom,
touched.
And now he gets 5 more. Bang,
Get
boom,
down.
and stretch. Lunge, stretch, dive, whatever it takes. 1st and 10 Titans at the 38. This is Aaron Huff. Huff bounces off a tackler, gets down to the 30 where he's hit, but he's going to have, looks like 9. So 2nd and a couple for Lorain. Timeout on the field. And that's just a fatigue timeout for the Bedford defense.
You know, Jay, here's the thing. Stepped away from the booth at halftime, and I had a friend of mine that's a casual fan of high school football, and he said, you know, of the 2 teams, who's supposed to be, you know, isn't Bedford supposed to be pretty dominant?
7 and 1.
I said, you know, Danny, I said, that's what it was coming into, but Lorain has imposed their will on this Bearcat defense, and on the other side of the ball, the defense has been able to capitalize on turnovers. It's just been a great all-around effort to this point of the game.
And, Lorain, playing for the playoffs, is looking to put a cap on what, the internet high school football guys are saying would almost guarantee them a playoff bid with a win tonight. Lorain goes into tonight 5th in their region with and possibly, they said that a 7-3 win, they project to the number 3 seed in Division 1, Region 2. So that would be something. And Maple Heights has a chance to give them out-of-conference second-level points next week. And if they hold on here, Bedford has a chance to give them out-of-conference second-level points. And if you're winning your games, there's an advantage to being in a smaller conference. Straight ahead, Huff gets stood up after about a 3-4 yard gain. He's going to put him down at the 27 and move the sticks.
Yeah, Aaron Huff, 18 carries, 72 yards, averaging 4 yards per rip on the night for the senior himself. And, on senior night, there's a lot of emotion, Jay.
Absolutely.
You come out here, your mom, your brother, your sister walk you out on the field, and the 2 senior leaders are the weather and field dictated it was going to be their type of game, and they're just putting their blueprints all over this one.
2:40 to go, third quarter. Titans on a march. Bedford up close to the line. You break a tackle here and you could run a long way. Sturgill keeps it, wants to pitch it, spins inside. He's got 5, 6, 7. Justin Sturgill. It wasn't pretty.
Hey, it wasn't pretty, but somewhere someone pressed circle button on their PS4 controller, and Sturgill did a little spin move there.
And got 7.
He might have even been holding down L2, I think, is what you have to do to execute that move.
I think he wanted to pitch, but made a good decision not to and picked up 7 yards on first down.
His mom and dad will give him something about that one.
Chavis down near the sticks. Looks like they stopped the clock again. That's going to move him. Give him 3. Down to the 17.
Look at that. You could see the Bearcat defenders.
The body language is bad. And the offensive linemen are thumping their chest and making that eating motion.
Oh, yes.
Minute 30 to go, third quarter. Whoops. Somebody started dancing before the music was playing.
Looks like offsides.
Nope.
False start.
Going to be on Lorain. Something happened in the inside 3. Whether the ball got moved or one of the linemen flinched a little bit. But going to be 1st and 15. Start the clock again, and the Titans are ready to go. I would think that Zion might be able to get free here. As close as they're playing him, if he can get off the line. Same thing with Nas. There's not a safety out here to the wide side.
They can go up top.
Now the safety creeps up on the far side. Look at him. There it is. Nas Bohannon pushes off. Nas Bohannon. Incomplete. Oh, Nas. He's laying there knowing what happened. He had a 6-pointer, and he's staying down in the end zone, and he's holding his right wrist. Now he's shaking his right hand, which is good that it's maybe just a little bit of a tingle. But he's holding his right wrist as he comes off the field.
Let's see if we can get that replay real quick. He had the defender beat, Jay.
Yeah, he got a little bit of a nudge out of the can right there.
Nice ball thrown by Sturgill. Had it and just dropped
you know what?
it.
And I don't know if that was not a completed pass and a fumble. I mean, certainly he took 2 steps with it. We don't get replay again, though. And so it's 2nd and 15. And we talked about it, and there it was. Now it's Brooks in that position while they evaluate Nas Bohannon. I'm going to guess he's probably not going to play much more offense tonight. Reverse. Zion Cross going to outrun somebody to the corner. 20, 15, down to the 13. Ball on the ground, but so was Zion, so he gets it down to the 13-yard line, which is a pickup of about 8, going to leave us 3rd and 7.
There's a lot of running for just 8 yards.
Yeah, well, he had the double back. With the defensive end, 44, Aaron Stone, had good penetration, but he wasn't going to catch Zion. Look at the box. There are 11 people within 2 yards of the ball. Dower is out there wide, bump and run. Near side, Brooks has got the same look.
I throw the fade to Davion right now.
Sturgill wants to throw. Slant. Brooks, touchdown. Day Brooks, 14 yards for his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Seems to be his favorite target. Is him and Day have some chemistry. He started in that Sandusky game where he hit him for that nice pitch and catch, and it's just carried forward from there. You know, they had off technique. He gave the inside was there. He was able to cross his face. He made that plant with his right foot. Nice play action pass. No safety over top. 6.
How'd you like the way they used the clock? 2 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Titans get on the board.
Beautiful.
34, looking for 2 more. Snap back. Chavis just high steps straight ahead.
Awesome.
Solomon Villarreal just put somebody on his back.
I think that was Mr. Wilkins there.
And so Chavis converts the extra point for the 2nd time in the quarter, and the Titans go up 36-7 with 2 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Jay, you know, in the last 6 years, I've had the privilege of covering a lot of Lorain County programs, and I'm telling you, what I'm seeing here that's evolving here on Oberlin Avenue in George Daniel is the building of something special.
Here's a bird's eye view
of
right the pass.
Got across in front of
just right in front of the face. Brooks ran a nice pattern. Got away the inside release, and once as close as they are, if you get an inside release, it's a touchdown whether you're 14 yards away or 84 yards away.
And then on the 2-point conversion, Myron Wilson was able to kick out his guy. Larson was able to seal his man inside. Gaping hole for the 2-point conversion.
So Titan, this is once again, Bedford is 7-1 on the season, and the Titans are mistreating them.
And according to Max Preps, you know, which is an internet site that a lot of people refer to, they're rated number 115th in the state of Ohio. 115, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Out of about 700.
Yes. I mean, when you think about it, that's up there with some of the more elite squads.
Sturgill, again, Coach Joyner got a hand on that one. Flag out. And once again, Bedford will start at the 35.
You know, I'm convinced, Jay. You know, since this is my first time with TV 20, we're going to put a sign up here. We are not involved with the 50-50
or the game ball.
We will take coffee though.
Yeah,
popcorn.
We can't answer questions.
Yeah. So this is the point in the game, Jay. We want to keep an eye out. You know, we get close to that running clock situation and see if we can sneak some of these kids that will play on Saturday to get some reps in.
And some of the seniors that may not get enough as much time, too.
Exactly.
It is 1st and 10 at the 35. Last play of the 3rd quarter, barring a penalty. Back to pass is Boone. Nice pocket that time. Lofts it. Brooks is back there. Ball, the wind pushed it out of bounds. Brooks had that covered.
Exactly right, Jay. You could see, you know, Brooks' eyes lit up from here. I could see him. And he turned from defender to receiver. Yep. If the wind didn't blow that out of bounds, he was picking that.
So we've played 3 at the George. Titans 36, Bedford 7. Back with more after this.
For the thousands of wounded warriors returning from battle, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a unique program that helps wounded warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. The Warriors to Work program also works with employers to find the right job for the right warrior. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Is magic really magic? If a deal is too good to be true, well, don't be fooled. There is no magic. Credit Max Auto has a great selection of cars with fast, easy financing and payments you can afford. Check us out at creditmaxauto.com.
First and 10, Bedford. Back to passes. Boone wants the bubble screen off the hands of the receiver. And the Titans almost had another one. That's a staple of their offense that hasn't worked much at all tonight. That time, Davion Johnson had it hit him in the worst place possible, the hands, and it's 3rd and 10 after the 2 incompletions.
Here's the one thing I want, a quick observation, Jay. Niles Bohannon is back in the game, so you can see he's okay.
Yeah, the only thing bruised was his right hand is taped. I'm sure Coach Rossitano's checking on that as we speak. Boone, quick out, nice catch. That's Cloud. Trent Cloud up across the 50, and that'll give him 16 as they look to spot it at the 49.
Nice hitch route, ran. A 16-yard curl route ran by Cloud. And
came back to the ball nicely, and it was a really good throw with the wind by Boone.
I love the receivers that catch with their hands like that.
Clean pocket for one of the first times. Not that time, though. There's a flag, and there's ball on the ground now. Titans are on that one. I know Lorain's got the ball. Carlos Chavis, he's had it all night. He might as well take it home. The flag was a hold. Antonio Wyatt got absolutely bulldogged. And maybe that was Gabriel Larsosa.
They're going to decline that penalty holding.
I would think.
Wow.
I think it was Gabriel Larsosa up the middle. We'll get a look at it. That's the 6th turnover. Here it is. Look at this bull rush up the middle. Nope, it was Corbin. And he got lassoed around the neck, and that was the holding penalty, but then the pass was complete and put on the ground without much contact, and Chavis recovered it right on the sidelines. Now there's a timeout for the officials, as everybody seems to be disorganized but the Bedford band right now. First and 10, Lorain at the 42 of the Titans. 11:28 to go in this one. Titans looking to make the clock run. And any points will do that.
Is that a different running back there with Aaron Huff?
That might be Savon. Straight back, Sturgill wants to throw, pump fakes, now he's in trouble. Lets it go out here to Brooks. Brooks catches it and gets his feet down. Day-Day Brooks with an acrobatic catch. Might have got away with a push-off as he came back from the ball, but made a heck of a play on the ball.
I think Jay Justin was trying to throw that ball out of bounds.
I do too, but that's what happens when your wideouts are 6'4".
Yeah, these guys play. They're Coach Rossitano's
This was a
athletes.
3-step drop, and Cross never got off the line.
Yeah, they did a great job, man-to-man.
And there's Brooks covered. Now he stops and comes back and pulls it in with 2 hands. Bohannon there to congratulate him as the Titans on first down move the stick for a first down with Chavis down to the 45. Give him 6.
Yeah, Carlos on the night, 32 carries, 178 yards.
Why do you give it to him so often? Well, it's not that heavy.
Man, you can just see this team brimming with confidence.
Oh, my goodness.
Good to see.
Huff and Chavis are the backs. Sturgill the quarterback. Give Chavis trying to find his way. He's got 9, and 8 of it happened after he got hit.
You know, this young man loves to hit the weight room. He loves to, just a gym rat is what you want to refer to him to.
Let's only give him 8. Only. I'd love to be built like him for a day.
Oh, man. He's 14 yards away, Jay, from 200 yards on the ground tonight.
Well, he's going to get a chance. 2nd and couple. This is Mahaffey out here to the near side now with Dower inside of him. Cross is on the far side as the split end. That's straight ahead. That's Huff. Huff's down inside the 30, moving the sticks. A little bit of unsportsmanlike action there by the Bedford band, I would say.
Yeah, you know what? all that matters what's going on between these hash marks right here and these lines here, but I guess they're trying to have some fun.
Yeah. 1st and 10 Titans at the 28. I just question playing during the action, just as I would if the football team were warming up while the band were playing.
Correct.
9:15 to go, and the clock is ticking. Titans up by 29. 30's the magic running clock number. Sturgill, Chavis makes a cut in the hole, gets down near the 25, give him the 26. So he gets 3 on 1st down. And it's almost inevitable that he's going to get 200 yards tonight.
Yeah, we should almost send a message maybe by carrier pigeon down to Coach McFarland, let him know how close he is to that personal mark there. And he's earning every yard that he gets here tonight. He started off slow tonight too, Jay.
Yeah. He's got a pick and a fumble recovery too.
He's made some plays.
Well, and that's what they say. The players make plays. Mm-hmm. Make us play you. Well, you know what? Carlos Chavis has played just about every snap of this football game. Sturgill to throw. Cross. Zion inside the 10 down to the 6. And you know what? You just had to take that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're having so much success on the ground, just that play-action pass is there all day.
Spot the ball at the 6, 1st and goal for the Titans.
The ball was thrown just slightly behind him. If he let him just a bit, that's 6, Jay.
Yeah. Huff to the house. Wow. Aaron Huff for the 3rd time tonight.
Aaron was hit right around the 5-yard line where he actually spun off of that, did like that alligator-style roll, was able to use his momentum to plunge into the end zone for 6.
These guys have fed off of one another.
Wow.
For Carlos Chavis, this is his 3rd year as almost a feature back. Aaron Huff has just, by sheer force and will, made himself into a running back.
Just a desire to be great, Jay. That's what I call that. Just a desire to be great and not be stopped.
Okay, we're going to try the extra point foot style here, 42-7. And, the young man that has done everything else, Justin Sturgill's going to get a chance to boot one through.
I just seen his mother do the sign of the cross. Let's see if divine intervention can help.
Good snap, spot down, and pushed it off to the right. And I'm sure that, part of the problem with that is that he's not getting as much chance to practice.
No, because he's a quarterback.
Yeah. Just same thing with the kickoffs.
And here's the other thing also, Jay. I was busting his chops on the field before the game about that number 29. I'm going to retract those statements because number 29 is doing one heck of a job for these Titans, leading them on and off the field. Not only is he a good athlete on the field, but a great student in classroom as well.
You know what? Somebody's got to make that number great, and that's what he's going to do.
I love it.
He doesn't want to take somebody else's number and try to be that person. Justin Sturgill's going to make 20, or Brandon Sturgill, I've done it again. Justin, that's the junior, is going to make 29 great. And you know what? If next year, if he has a choice, I hope he takes 29 again.
I'll make sure that he chooses 29.
Because
that's
you know what it's going to say? It's going to say they didn't think. Look what I did. They didn't think of me as a quarterback, and here I am.
Yeah, because he was their slot receiver. He made some plays in the summer.
Played a little linebacker.
Yeah.
But he did play a full year of. There's a boot out of bounds, lane 5 that time.
I think that's basically
that is intentional.
Intentional, yeah.
You know what? When you are, what the problem is you can't continue to do that. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to say, no, do it again. Because that's one of the options with that penalty is re-kick.
Yes.
And so you're going to have to, at some point, kick off. Bedford huddles up. Now, this one might have been so wide that we might not even have made it to the 35. That's my guess.
You see Coach McFarland and Nas Bohannon giving a big hug there, hugging one of his senior leaders on this squad. And during the summer, had a chance to visit with the team, and you could tell, his seniors, like most good high school programs, lead their team. And, This is a good group of seniors.
Drew Pasteur's Fantastic 50, is that a website you're familiar with? Okay, well, according to Mr. Pasteur, Dr. Pasteur is a math professor at Worcester College, with a win tonight, the Titans are 100% in the playoffs. Off the hands of the receiver, Savon Chavis looking to make a tackle, passed on an interception. Again, the receiver let the ball hit the pads. That was Cloud. Nice throw from Boone, but nothing doing.
You know, nice move here by Coach McFarland. He's just took off one of his other senior leaders, Brandon Sturgill, being embraced by his brother there on the sideline. And, you know, it's a family affair and good stuff there.
Straight back. Boone has it taken away. Corbin just knocked it out of his hand. Hand up, looking on the bottom of the pile. I think Boone got it back. Clock continues to run. We're at 5:40. Titans scored at 7:58, and we're already at 5.5 minutes. That's what the running clock does. Chavis comes off. McFarland went out to the numbers to greet him. Big hug.
Great job there. What class
Last home game, but maybe not. Because Dr. Pasteur thinks that the Titans are in a pretty good shape for a home game. Pass over the middle behind the receiver who slipped and fell. That was
number 3.
It's D'Angelo Howard. My roster flipped over.
Yes.
Pardone and Huff come off into big hugs. Bohannon waiting for them after Coach McFarland's done.
You know, Jay, looking at this game here tonight, this is just a good old country butt whooping.
Yes, it is. Brewers into punt on 4th and 17. Titans move up. Brooks doesn't even bother. Kicked away. That's what they should have been doing into the wind all night long. Goes out of bounds at the 40, and Lorain will take over. Now we'll see who comes out and runs the offense.
If you'd call, that game against Sandusky was a program win.
Oh, and it was a defining moment for these guys.
Oh, yes. Because, some of the competition they had beat up until that point was, it was so-so. They're not saying that they were any slouch, terrible teams. They did what they were supposed to do. And then this game here tonight, I think has just empowered not only these young men, but the kids moving forward in potential postseason ball.
You know who's going to come in and take some snaps? Number 2, Davion Dower.
You're going to need him later on.
Why not?
Need him down the road, so this is perfect.
Manny Brown is out to the wide side. Near side, it's Mahaffey. Sean Eccles is in the slot. Dower calls things out. 11 in the box for Bedford. Whistle, delay a game.
Yeah, they were late getting onto the field.
Well, they had to count. They had to make sure they had 11 because this is some new. Let's see. I still see Wilson and Larson in.
Yeah, you got the number 1 offensive line. You just got some different backs in the backfield. You got Savon
Rogers
Chavis.
is still in. That's Torres at guard rather than Villarreal, as he gets a break as a senior. Snap back. Savon Chavis met by a bunch of angry Bearcats. Something going on downfield. I think one of the...
Yeah, Gabe Larsosa.
Gabe Larsosa got pulled down by one of the Bearcats and just tried to get up without causing any damage. Loss of a couple for Savon. And it's going to bring 2nd and 17. 3:27 to go in the ball game. Titans are going to move to 7-2. And according to computer projections, guarantee themselves a playoff game. There looks like there will be week 11.
Now the only question is, going into next week, will it be on the road or will it be at home? We'll see.
And it very definitely looks like they might get a home game. Next week would clinch a home game and probably a number 3 seed in the region.
Wow.
How about that?
Where this program was 5 years ago compared to now?
Straight ahead give. That's Chavis. Well, somebody learned how to keep his feet moving from Big Bro. He's out to the 46 from the 31. So give him 15.
I'll tell you something.
It's a family affair.
One thing people don't realize about young Savon Chavis, he's a legend in Little League Pop Warner football for the Pioneers.
He looks like Carlos 2.0. I mean, he's 2 inches taller and probably 20 pounds heavier.
I've been hearing about this kid and seeing him.
And he's 15.
Yeah, seeing him since he was, in the 5th and 6th grade.
Back to throw is Dower. Dower lofts it out for Mahaffey. And that one, the wind got. And the flag is whipping again. He had Eccles in the area along with Robert Mahaffey. The ball landed between them. And that was a 4th down play, so Bedford will take over. Sorry about that. I thought it was 3rd down. See some of the fans trying to get in out of the wind. And as it has been breezy out of the north all night long. And they wind the clock with 1:50 to go. This will, in all probability, be the last possession of the ball game. Boone is the quarterback. He's going to go under center. He's had a tough time. Trips to the near side. Wilkins is the setback. Nobody's in any hurry. Down to 1:28. Straight back, wants to throw the... He wanted the screen.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't there because one of the linemen got their hands in the air and he couldn't see, then he just was running for his life.
Yeah, Gabriel Arsosa was there along with Calvin Torres putting pressure on Boone there. Incomplete pass on the night. Boone 7 of 20, no touchdowns, 2 picks, and 73 yards.
For a man who was is over 2,000 on the season in 8 games.
And he was, he was frustrated. Just getting plays off was very frustrating for Bedford. Mishandling snaps, bad snaps at shotgun, and also from under center.
As I said to you early on, they got off the bus late and they looked cold and tired. And it looked like after the first 4 plays and the turnover, it looked like they never got into this football game.
Wilkins is that quarterback.
Wilkins going to keep it. Going to get 5, 6, maybe 7.
That should just about
with about 24 seconds to go. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 at the 39. I think everybody's had enough. The Bearcats wander over to their sideline. And both teams are going to leave here 7-2, Rick, but one of them is going to feel a whole lot better about themselves than the other.
One's trending upwards, the other one's kind of questioning where they belong after this type of game.
And, I'm a math guy, and if the math is to believe, the Titans are in the playoffs.
Wow.
Doesn't that sound good? This one ends up 42 for the good guys, 7 for Bedford, and Lorain goes to 7-2 on the season. And I don't know what I expected tonight, but this was certainly an enjoyable game, and the Titans in all phases dominated a 7-1 football team, who's probably going to be in the playoffs themselves.
They are.
Titans opened it up after a takeaway on a Nosbo Hannon interception. A couple plays later, it was a 56-yard pass, Justin Sturgill to Deshaun Brooks. The extra points made it 8-0. And then with 1:46 to go in the first quarter, it was Aaron Huff on a 5-yard run, and we ended the first quarter at 14-0. The Titans went up 20 on a Carlos Chavis 2-yard run with 6:20 to go. Here's Bedford on a keeper. That's Wilkins. He goes up the middle, bounces it to the outside, bounces off a couple people, sticking it in the end zone as he slammed. That was the legitimate touchdown where you had to touch the ball down in the end zone. And it was 20-7 following the kick at the half. Second half, all Lorain. Huff. And then Sturgill pitches to Chavis for the 2. He gets in the corner. 28-7 Lorain. Up close look at Brooks, the inside release, and it's touchdown right there. That easy. Just see the great look at the move.
Great camera work.
Right there. Step out, plant in, and boom, touchdown. Deshaun Brooks with his second score on the night. And then straight ahead, Chavis for the 2, and it was 36-7. And a couple ticks under 8 minutes left in this one when we get the final points. on an Aaron Huff run, and the Titans end up 42-7 over the 7-1, now 7-2 Bedford Bearcats. Final numbers, Rick?
Yeah, here we go. Carlos Chavis on the night, the senior on senior night. 34 carries, 189 yards. Aaron Huff, 20 carries, 88 yards. Zion Cross, 2 carries for 9 yards. Justin Sturgill, 5 carries for 12. And Savon Chavis, 3 for 16. Receiving on the night, you had Deshaun Brooks, 3 receptions for 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cross, 1 for 20 yards, 4 total receptions for 97 yards, averaging 24 yards per reception through the air. And Justin Sturgill on the night, 4 of 7, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 97 yards.
Titans lost only the 1 turnover, Rick.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 turnover, and here's the thing. 72 plays, 467 yards. Now, on the other side of the ball, the Bearcats only ran 41 plays and were limited to 153 yards only.
Wow. 31 more plays. You almost doubled them up.
And, Jay, here's the thing. You know, and we talked about him a lot through the broadcast. Antonio Wyatt, Calvin Torres, and the other young man, and his name is escaping me.
James Corbin.
James Corbin. They dictated the game, and they dictated what they were going to allow the Bearcats to do, and they set the tone. After that first Bearcats drive, they literally did nothing.
Oh, and yeah, other than the touchdown drive in the second quarter, which was a glimmer of life, but was aided by a penalty.
Yes.
And other than that, not much. Well, for the Titans next week, it's Week 10 at Cleveland Heights, and it's 2 undefeated teams in the conference, assuming that Cleveland Heights took care of business tonight. The Titans at 7-2 will face off with probably the 6-3 Cleveland Heights Tigers, and the winner will be sole champions of the Lake Erie League.
It's a huge game for the program, going on the road. And, what I like about this real quick, if I can add, had a little bit of weather, you had a little bit of wind. You're going to need to win a game like this in the postseason if you want to advance. So great team building, great win for the program yet again.
Okay, from George Daniel again, Titans 42, Bedford 7 for Joe Bach, Terry Trout, Jaden Morales, and Club TV 20. For my partner, Rick Amador, this is Jay Ferguson. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.